At first, it makes no sense. Bright red tomatoes, growing in the middle of the Sahara Desert, juicy, soft, alive, in a place where almost nothing survives. The air is dry, the sun burns without mercy, rain almost never comes, and yet, here they are, rows of green plants stretching across endless orange sand. But this did not start here. To understand this, we have to go back to day one. There was nothing. No plants, no insects, no moisture, just wind and sand. For thousands of years, this land has remained unchanged. The soil is not really soil. It is sand. It cannot hold water. It cannot feed plants. So the first step was to change the ground itself. A long trench is carved into the desert, deep enough to protect what comes next. Then something unusual is added. Dark, black soil, rich with nutrients, able to hold moisture. This soil does not belong to the desert. It is brought in, placed carefully into the trench, like building a small island of life inside a sea of sand. But soil alone is not enough. Water is the real challenge. In the Sahara, water disappears almost instantly. If you pour it onto the surface, it vanishes. So instead of flooding the soil, they slow everything down. Thin, black pipes are placed across the trench. These pipes do something very simple. They drip, one drop at a time, slow, controlled, precise. Each plant receives just enough water to survive. Nothing more. Nothing wasted. Then comes the most delicate step. Planting. Small tomato saplings are placed into the dark soil. They look fragile, almost out of place in such a harsh environment. The sun above is relentless. The air pulls moisture away from every surface. At this stage, everything could fail. But something is happening beneath the surface. The water from the pipes moves slowly through the soil. It does not evaporate. It stays where the roots can reach it. The roots begin to grow, deeper, wider, searching, expanding. Days pass. Then something changes. A small green shoot appears, then another, and another. Life begins. The plants spread across the sand. Green vines crawl over the orange surface. Leaves unfold. They catch the sunlight. But too much sunlight is dangerous. In the desert, light can destroy plants, so the system adapts again. A thin cover is placed above the crops. It is almost invisible, but it changes everything. It softens the sunlight, reduces the heat, slows down evaporation. Now, the plants can breathe. Weeks pass. The farm begins to transform. The dark soil holds moisture longer. The plants create shade. The temperature near the ground drops slightly. It is a small change, but in the desert, small changes matter. Then, something even more surprising happens. Life returns. Tiny insects appear. The soil becomes active. The air feels different. A small ecosystem begins to form, all from a trench, in the sand. And then, the first flowers bloom. Small, yellow, delicate. A quiet signal that the system is working. These flowers do not last long. They transform into something more. Small green tomatoes appear. At first they are hard to notice, hidden among the leaves, but they grow, slowly, steadily. Day by day they become larger. The desert sun, once an enemy, now becomes part of the process. It provides energy, constant, reliable, endless. The tomatoes begin to change color, from green to orange, then finally, deep red. Harvest day arrives. A hand reaches into the plant and picks one. The tomato is firm, heavy, full. It is cut open. Inside, it is perfect, juicy, fresh, alive, grown in one of the harshest places on earth. But this is not just a single success. This is a system, and the real power comes from scaling it. The Sahara has one thing in abundance: sunlight. And now, that sunlight is used. Solar panels power water pumps. Water is pulled from deep underground, carefully, slowly, so the supply is not destroyed. This method does not fight the desert. It works with it. It respects its limits, controls water, controls light, builds small pockets of life. And when repeated, those pockets grow. More trenches, more soil, more plants, more food. This could change how we think about farming. Places once considered useless can become productive. Communities can grow food locally. Less transport, less waste, more control. But there is a warning. Water is not unlimited. If taken too quickly, it disappears, and the desert returns. So the system must stay balanced, careful, measured, sustainable. Because this is not just about tomatoes. It is about possibility. Turning the most hostile land on earth into something that can live again. And it all started with a single trench in the sand. The harvest is only the beginning. Each tomato is picked by hand, carefully, gently, because a single bruise can ruin the journey ahead. The ripe tomatoes are placed into clean containers, kept out of direct sunlight. In the desert, heat can damage them in minutes, so everything moves quickly. From the field to the first checkpoint. Here, the tomatoes are sorted. Not all are the same. Some are larger, some are smaller, some are not perfect. Each one is inspected. Only the best continue forward. Next comes cleaning. Dust from the desert clings to distribution centers, then to supermarkets, placed on shelves, bright, clean, fresh. No one sees the journey. No one sees the desert. The customer walks by, picks up a tomato, feels its weight, sees its color, and places it into a basket. What looks ordinary is anything but, because that tomato was grown in one of the harshest places on earth, carried across the desert, protected at every step, measured, cleaned, sorted, until it reached this moment. From sand to shelf,